The middle-class residents of Reval centuries ago lived much more modestly than we do now. Their homes, usually 1 or 2 stories high, were built of stone. Despite their small size, these dwellings were filled with coziness. During the day, everyday life unfolded in one room, which transformed into a sleeping area at night. In the 13th century, the concept of land ownership was different from what it is today. Land plots were temporarily granted by the feudal lord to vassals. In return, the vassals were obligated to serve their suzerain without having full ownership rights to the land. In the past, Livonia was subject to foreign rulers, with the Livonian Order, a branch of the Teutonic Order, dominating. Vassals in the church received lands from the order and were obliged to serve it. Peasants cultivated these lands and, in exchange for their labor, received protection from their feudal lords. In medieval Livonia, an ordinary person did not buy land with money. They were granted a plot in exchange for labor and loyalty. In return, they received food and protection from their lord. The economy of that time was based on barter. Land could be exchanged for livestock or services. Ordinary people traded not with money, but with the results of their labor and obligations to the feudal lord. Dealing with real estate in 13th century Livonia bears no resemblance to modern processes. It is a fragment of history that reveals the evolution of the housing market. Interested in learning about the cost of living in the past? Let's imagine what the rent for an apartment in Tallinn, then known as Reval, was in the 18th century. Join us on an enlightening exploration of historical facts. In ancient times, the concept of living was different. People often lived in communal apartments, and work served as currency for shelter. By converting the old prices, we find that moderate housing was rented for about 10 euros per month in today's exchange rate. Ordinary townspeople had to exert a lot of effort to secure a rental. Serfs performed duties in exchange for housing, while free individuals exchanged services, such as bread for an apartment. Ordinary townspeople had to exert a lot of effort to secure a rental. Serfs performed duties in exchange for housing, while free individuals exchanged services, such as bread for an apartment. It is astonishing to witness the transformation. Renting a residence in today's Tallinn is completely different from what it was in the 18th century.